fresh out the oven. What is cracking, everybody? It's Mega Pie Man here, and welcome to another look at my map. This time for CTF Coffeeville A6. Now, you may be wondering yourself, what happened to CTF Coffeeville A5? Last one I did a video on was of A4. Well, A5 kinda sucked. People really did not like A5, so I basically completely reverted back to A4 and started over again from there. So I'm going to pretend that A5 didn't exist, and we're just going to go on with A6. So this is the 6th version of this actual map, and I've done a lot of changes here to try to work on fixing some of the problems people were actually having with the map. The biggest thing that I always got whenever people were playing this map is that they always seemed to have some issues when it came to seeing other players. I always got comments by people saying that they didn't see people often enough to help keep them interested in the map, and that's what a lot of the changes that happened to mid are. As you can see, I changed mid to have these buildings over here on both sides of the bridge, when originally this was a lot more open. Now, the point of this was to funnel players. So, the main thing when you're coming out of spawn, the new spawn is actually over here, so I actually redid spawn, so there's no longer the drop-down thing on it, since that was confusing people by quite a lot. It's a darn shame, because I think that idea was actually work if I could have done it correctly, but unfortunately I couldn't. But when you come out of spawn, you'll go over here. The first path you'll see is the one under this bridge. Even if you come out of spawn in this way, which leads to the new room for the intel, and go down here, the first one you'll see that area over here underneath this building, and then you can come over this way before you'll see the way to the hotel. But this is the main area. I pretty much found out that this is going to be the main path, down this way under the bridge, and then back on the other side. So, to try to funnel players, I put these buildings here so that players will mostly stick to the middle area, and you can still go around to the sides. I also changed this over here. Originally, you could just go up some stairs to go up this over here, and then go around here to the hotel. You can't do that anymore. This only works usually from the attacking side, so red team will be able to utilize this more than blue team will. If you're playing as a scout, you can still double jump and crouch jump up here, or use the atomizer. You can still rocket jump and sticky bomb jump up here to grab the health and the ammo. But more than not, you're going to want to use this if you're coming from this direction. And by having this in a building over here, it also splits this area up as well. So anyone who's in this area, they'll walk in here and they'll be able to fight people in this area instead of having to be completely open. Because I didn't see this area used quite a lot previously. But hopefully now that by splitting these areas up into different sections, that people will see that there's actually more purpose to them, since they actually have cover and it's not so open. And so far, that's what's been happening, at least in this video you're seeing right now. Now, this is a Source TV recording. This is a demo of the US game day for last Saturday, which was, I believe, October 25th. Yes, October 25th for the US Game Day on tf2maps.net. And I got a lot of people who really like this map, which is good to see, because I've yet to actually get to the point where this map was really in a good shape to be able to really push forward. A lot of the time I've spent working on this map so far has just been redoing the intel room and trying to get this set up pretty well, and so far people seem to like it for the most part as to where it is, to the point that I'm kind of locking down on this layout, and I'm going to be working on this layout. I'm not going to be redoing the intel completely 100% again anymore, because that's getting a little bit annoying. But so far, people seem to like this and how things are going. And so this is what I'm going to go with. Spawn seems to work out okay. The intel room seems to work out okay. Everything else seems to work out pretty well. Now, I actually did remove this room over here for the hotel. Originally, if you went inside the hotel, you go up over here and go in here, and there was a window right there. Now, I removed that because in the previous version of this map, which was, I believe it was A5? I don't remember if it was A5 or A4. That I saw this problem, but Blue took a teleporter like they did right here, but they put the teleporter inside this room so they could easily spawn in here and then go out the window, and it was very difficult to get in that area since you could only go in from a door that was over here. So if you want to get rid of the teleporter, you had to go in from over here and go in there, or try to lob some grenades in there, and I found that it was very difficult for a defending team to actually do that. So I closed off that room, and if you want to put a teleporter, you got to put the teleporter over in an area like this, which is a much more open area, a lot more different ways in and out. This way that there's a lot better ways to attack the teleporter. If you build a sentry gun nest up in here, there are more ways to actually attack it. There's more ways to take care of it and to deal with it and to get rid of it instead of being completely locked down in an area where you can't really get to. So hopefully that will actually work out the way that I think it will. It has worked out that way so far, but hopefully it'll actually stay working that way and be a good decision. I might need to change up some more of the areas inside the hotel, the main hotel lobby area, which is what this is eventually going to look like. It doesn't look like it right now because it's still all dev textures, but it will look like that eventually. I may have to change this up a little bit depending upon how things go, but so far, I haven't had any complaints about this, and unlike the previous version of the map where I actually had people complaining about the fact about this room that you couldn't attack, now the room's going, nobody's had any complaints about what's going on here at all, which is fantastic. I really like that. Now, in mid, I also added these rocks in this section. I added these here to give you a little bit of cover, and I put some more health pack on top of this. So there's actually a lot of health in this area. You've got health in the middle, you've got health over here, you've got easy accessible health from right over here, and you've got health right on top of the bridge if you're running across from the hotel balcony onto the bridge and over to the other hotel balcony. Something that I'm having a little bit of an issue with at the moment is this piece right here. I haven't seen players do this, but I myself have gotten stuck on this piece of geometry right here on this brush when I try to jump between the balcony and the bridge for the bridge between the balcony. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to do anything about that or what I'm going to do about that. I had to kind of cut that off a little bit because I wanted to put a door in here, a doorway for that. So you have a path this way, you have a path around this side, and you have a path over here. It gives you a lot of options. I might close off one of these paths. I'm not completely sure about what I want to do with that exactly, but I wanted to make sure that you can still jump from the balcony onto the bridge, and this was the best option that I was able to come up with to make things still look and make a lot of sense. You can also go through these windows if you want to go down to this area where the trains are. If you get on the bridge, you can rocket jump over here. I thought about maybe putting health or something up here, so you can rocket jump onto a platform on top here. I haven't completely decided about that yet. Train's still here. Change the train to 40-second intervals. So instead of previously where it was at 30-second intervals, it will now go across at 40-second intervals. And as I can just see from the people who are right now, there's a lot of people in this server because this was the first map of the day for the game day session that they had here. And people really seem to like that. It says right there, Spooky Anders just said this is a great map, you made a fun CTF map, which is the first time I've heard that for this map. People have said they liked this map, but I've yet to see people actually really all that interested in it. And they seem to really like version A6, which is why I kind of locked down on this version. I'm like, okay, this is the version, I'm on to something here, we're going to go with this. There's still some things that I do want to change up in the next version of the map. This balcony right here that is still there, this wooden balcony, this balcony was originally here when I had the room in this, so you go out the window, you can land on this balcony, also jump up on this balcony and go in the window. Since I got rid of the window, I didn't really know if I wanted to get rid of this balcony or not, but I think I'm actually going to do that just to open the space up between the base and the hotel. I'm also going to get rid of this overhang thing right here for this porch. The reason why I added that is just aesthetic looks, and you can't actually jump on top of that, which is something that threw some of the players off. I actually got some feedback from people who were actually trying to jump from this building on top of this building, and you can't do that because it's actually clipped off because it's used as a block, so the players can't actually go out here. So I'm going to remove that, probably put a flat surface there or something. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do there, since there's the street is kind of wide here, and I want to block this off, but I don't want to put like a crap ton of just wagons or junk going across the road, so I'll have to figure out what exactly I want to do for that, but I'm definitely going to get rid of this since it did cause some confusion and things like that. When it comes to the actual intel room, as you can see, I added this upper section. I actually got a tip or advice, what do you want to call it? Somebody from one of the previous game days, I don't remember who it was, actually came up with the idea of being able to go around behind the intel. Originally, a lot of the ideas I had for the intel was that you could go up this section, go up over here, jump across, grab the intel, and then keep on jumping across and go over to this one. I kind of got rid of that, but I changed up the idea. You can still go this way and jump over and get the intel, but instead you'll have to go down through this path instead of being able to go over top adopted this path, and I changed up this path so that it leads directly to this window back here that will go back to this slanted spot. Now, you can't actually build back here. There is a no build on this slanted area. The main thing for this map is that any slanted areas you can't build upon. I personally don't like seeing sentry guns or dispensers or whatever on slanted surfaces, since they don't actually change to fit the slanted surfaces. As you can see kind of a little bit here with this sentry gun, it doesn't change to fit the slanted surface. It's still just completely flat. That's a thing with TF2. That's not a thing that I can fix. So I might need to do a little bit of displacement work here to try to make that a little bit more interesting. This actually is an interesting spot to build up. I don't think I've seen anybody build up in this area yet before. So we'll have to see how that goes. It's pretty easy to attack when you think about it. They did try building up here, but they weren't able to have that happen, so they're trying to build up down there. So it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do with that. But I don't like seeing that. I don't like it at all. So basically, anywhere that's slanted, that's not a displacement, like ground. This is a displacement right here, and these are brushes. You can't build here. You can't build here, and you can't build back here. So that it's kind of easy to figure out as long as you know that you can't build on slants. Some people are still finding this a little bit confusing, and I'm going to try to make that a little bit easier to make out when it comes to actually propping up the area and making it look nice, to make it look like, okay, you can't build here for a reason, but I have some ideas about this specific area. I don't have a lot of ideas about the other one. But the main purpose of this is an attack area. So if they've actually built up a good sentry around here, you can't build here either, which I might actually change. You also can't build right on the intelligence. I'm going to keep it so you can't build on the intelligence, because I don't want you building on the intelligence. But I'm going to actually open this up so you can put a sentry gun back here. Although that wouldn't necessarily be the greatest place for a sentry gun, because you have these low walls that will actually block anything over there. You got pillars all around that will also block bullets, but it will let you cover this, and will let you cover that. And maybe a little bit up here. I don't know. I'll have to see how that actually plays out when I test that a little bit more. But the main point of this window is just to help you for attacking. So if they build up a sentry nest, you can go through this area, go across this back area, and try to attack them to make it a lot more difficult to attack. I've locked down the idea that I want this spawn to be right next to the flag, since I don't want to make the map bigger. In A4, I actually put the flag back in a section all the way back here. I didn't like that much, because I felt that made the map a little bit too long for what I wanted to do. The map's already pretty big for a CTF map, that I feel, and I don't want to make it longer. So instead of doing that, I put the intelligence back here, and I'm trying to build this in a way that will discourage sentry nesting, so you can't just build one sentry and win 100% of the time, which isn't fun for anybody, in all honesty. It's not fun for you, it's not fun for the attackers, it's not fun for the defenders, or anything like that. Unfortunately for this particular version of the map, I actually forgot to pack all my custom files, so you couldn't see things like this wagon here and a couple of the different sides. But thankfully, nothing specifically important is custom stuff, so the game could still actually be played fairly well. And I'm very, very happy with it. I'm happy with how A6 has turned out. I've already got a lot of ideas of what I'm going to do for A7 and try to change things up, as well as probably try to prop some areas up. There's actually a teleporter that goes up here. I don't think I've ever seen anybody put a teleport up there, but it seems like they did actually clear out the sentry gun nest that was in this area. But for now, this is what I'm going to go with. Things will probably change. I don't know if I'll open up mid again some more. I seem to like it how it is. And as you can see, there's players everywhere. There's players all over this area, which is a very, very good thing. Because like I was saying before, a lot of the problems with my map, with Coffeeville, was that people they weren't seeing each other often enough to really keep themselves interesting. There were a lot of places to go in Coffeeville. Coffeeville is a very open map, and it was a little bit too open previously. So now that I made it a little bit more closed off, it will hopefully funnel players around so that they'll see each other a lot more often. With how many players that were in this game day, as you see, it's pretty much full players. Basically, I believe it's 16v16. I have 16 spawns on both sides. I don't know if it was 16v16, but it was a lot of players. And it worked out really well for the most part. I don't know how well this map will work with less players, considering it is kind of big for CTF. It's not like 2-4. 2-4 works great with pretty much any amount of players, considering the fact that it's kind of a small map. Double Cross, you usually want a couple more players. Double Cross, less players, isn't really all that fun on a map like Double Cross. But I think this map is definitely headed in the right direction. I've got some ideas of what I want to do for the next version, and hopefully I'll have that out sometime soon. So, thank you guys for watching this look at my map for CTF Coffeeville A6. Next time we'll come back with A7, and I'll show off all the kinds of things that we'll have there, and we'll see just what changes, what doesn't change, and hopefully I'll be able to respond to everyone's feedback. It's the main thing this map is at this point, trying to get feedback. Also, Pocket over here found this wonderful, wonderful sight line for a sniper at the top of these battlements area where you can look all the way down and see basically below this bridge. I don't know how much I want to change that. I kind of like that, since there are ways to go around. This is really much the main focus that people see when they walk around. They'll see this path first, before they'll see the path through the hotel. But there is a path to the hotel, and I feel that having this sniper sightline right here makes that path a lot more viable, since people will use it instead of just trying to use this same pathway. If you got a bunch of snipers here, then you'll go around and you'll try to come out this way, or you'll go around and you'll try to pop out this way, or you'll try to pop out up top here to try to attack any snipers that are in this specific area. I haven't really seen anyone try to nest up this area to see how well it attacks from that, considering it is right next to the spawn, and that's the reason why I originally had drop-downs in the map in the first place, to try to make it so a lot harder to nest up. But yeah, as Pocket is saying, that sight line is pretty amazing. So we'll have to see how things change. Originally, the main sight line was supposed to be up here for snipers, but I don't see a lot of snipers up here, which is strange. I expected this to be a good snipe area, but snipers don't usually show up here. But we'll have to see how things play out, and that's pretty much it for me talking about this version of CTF Coffeeville. So, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about the map in the comment section. I'm Mega Pie Man, and I will talk to you guys later.